Hello and welcome, esteemed guests, to my channel. My name is Ainsley. Let's do stuff. I'd like to kick this video off by wishing everybody a happy Pride Month, or if it's not June when you're watching this video, happy Pride Month anyway. You should always be respecting your queer peers. During the month, I will be releasing videos that are Pride themed. Not every upload, but I'd like to try for most uploads anyway. I have another installment in my EA But Make It Gay series coming, and another Rainbow Sims challenge, but this time Pride themed. This first video is basically just the culmination of all the thirsting that I have been doing lately over my Sims and my Create a Sim videos, so I decided to do some Sims just kind of randomly that reflected different lesbian and otherwise queer lady styles. This video is by no means meant to be all-inclusive, it's just sort of the first 5 general ideas that popped into my mind because we are doing 5 Sims for this challenge. Though I don't know if you could actually call it a challenge, I really did quite enjoy doing this. Not only for pixel thirst reasons, but also just because it was coming so easily to me. I've realized in the last couple Create a Sim videos that I've been doing that the aesthetic that I tend to really groove with when I'm making Sims is this kind of arguably queer fashion. Now, don't get me wrong, yes, anybody can wear any kind of clothing. It doesn't belong to a specific community, but I think equally it's important to have that conversation about how style and aesthetic can be indicative of culture and can create culture. And when you're looking at a group like queer and otherwise LGBT plus people who maybe don't have a community that has been present in a bloodline, that don't have like women people around them that you're likely to know them or to be immediately in your circle, these things that we can take upon ourselves to create an image and an identity to form around are very important. Hopefully that makes sense. I was listening back to it to see if I could understand myself, and I think I do. Basically what I'm trying to get across is that yes, anybody can wear anything, but sometimes there's power to looking like a lesbian or to looking like a queer woman because it helps us identify each other and to create spaces with each other when we don't have ways that are organically occurring to find each other. So this first Sim, Anastasia Brooks, is kind of my like sporty lesbian, probably goes to soccer practice on the weekends, has definitely like broken her leg twice, skateboards on the weekends, and despite being really good at it, always has skinned knees and elbows because she like can't help herself from being kind of rambunctious and all over the place, and definitely got her eyebrow pierced in her first girlfriend's basement when they were in high school. I like to give my Sims really intricate backstories when I'm making them. I feel like it fleshes them out as characters. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or if you'd prefer to see me do something different with these voiceovers. Our next Sim is Jordan Rogers. In my mind, she's kind of that like pin-up retro lesbian. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like heavily tattooed, kind of vintage inspired fashion, but edgy. Like she was the one who pierced Anastasia's eyebrow in the first place. I gave her like a really square jaw, as I always do, and some eyebrows that are a little bit more like unkempt. They're not unruly, just they're not the fine manicured Instagram eyebrows, because I kind of vibed her as a like rah-rah down with the system kind of girl who just doesn't care to keep her eyebrows plucked. Normally I'd edit that bit out, but I'm recording this voiceover with a glass of wine, so you're gonna get to keep it. Happy Pride Month. I did give her a bit of a thinner, more pointed nose though, which is not what I usually do. I tend to give Sims a bit of a wider nose, and I gave her some freckles because who doesn't like freckles? I also gave her the little gap in her teeth, a diastema I think it's called, but I don't actually keep it because in the end I give her a lipstick that has the teeth visible. And here I also give her blue eyes instead of green eyes because my habit is always to give a redhead green eyes, and I figured I'd shake that up a little bit. So they're blue. I also gave her quite heavy eye makeup because I felt like that suited her style a bit. I like the cat eye with the 40s wave. It's a pretty cool look, and here's where I give her the lipstick with the teeth, so I remove the gap tooth. Her outfit was kind of interesting to do because I didn't have exactly in the game what I wanted. I didn't have quite the custom content collection I thought I did, and I'm hesitant to download more because I'm kind of running out of disk space on my computer. It's a real like shuffle to get videos even edited as it is, so I'm looking to remove custom content, not add it. But I did settle on that dress that comes with the game, and these cool base game tattoos too. I mean, I think they're actually city living tattoos, but you know what I mean? They come like with the game, they're not custom content. I do use custom content finger tattoos that say "don't care" on the knuckles though. I really like those. They have a few different sayings and I use them all the time. And I think if you could be a tattoo artist in the game, she probably would be. That's kind of who I see her as. If you choose to download this household from the gallery, my origin ID is Ainsley Plays Sims. Maybe the style influencer would be a cool career for her, or really anything you wanted. This sim that we're working on now, Vivian, she's a young adult right now, but I had always meant to make her an elder from the very beginning, and I realized that about halfway through, so we go back and change it. But yeah, I didn't want to have just younger queer women in this video because I think it's really important to reflect that there are older women who are lesbians, or they're queer, or they're bi, or they use another label that suits them, and they've been an important part of our history, and it's worth listening to their stories and hearing them speak from their perspectives. They were integral to the community in the 80s during the AIDS crisis when so many gay and bisexual men were sick or they were dying. They really had a huge role to play in maintaining the community. And it was a community that up until the 70s and until the crisis had been a little divided and had not necessarily seen eye to eye. I think that's a really important discussion to have too about like inter-community politics and relationships. Both in the past and in the present, there are still incredible grounds that we need to cover to be more inclusive of people of color in our communities and to be more inclusive of people who don't identify as gay or lesbian. We need to be there more to support trans people and to support bisexual and pansexual and asexual and aromantic people who find themselves alienated by the community. So for me, like, this was a really awesome sim to get a chance to have fun with, to design, and to, you know, let her kind of live her best life. She looks good. I mean, yes, this video is a chance to discuss social issues, but let us not forget this was primarily about the pixel thirst. I really like the outfit I put together for her in the end. I think she kind of has that sort of stud aesthetic that is like so cool and I'm so into, and I could never pull off myself, but I'm always so envious of when I see other people rocking it. And speaking of our need to be more inclusive of the trans community, I felt like this video would not be complete without doing an awesome trans lesbian, because yes, trans lesbians are real lesbians and they are valid. TERFs can choke. This is a position I will hold. This is the hill that I will die on. And I think there is a lot to be said for the areas in which The Sims 4 still needs to up its game. I think we need to have more frequent, consistent use of non-binary they, them pronouns, or maybe other pronouns, a chance to pick and create a sim the pronouns that your sim wants to use so that you have more options for non-binary players and that everybody who plays the game can see themselves represented. But I was really impressed when we got the customizable gender update because it felt like at least a step in the right direction. It was forward momentum. And so I don't use it as much as I want to, so that's something else that I want to do a little more in videos. I try to make a conscious effort to make sure that I'm showing a different array of body types and skin tones, but I don't think I do enough with gender. So I'd like to do more of that moving forward, and hopefully Pride Month in my series of videos I get more opportunities to do that and to form those habits so that I can continue doing that even when I move forward past June. Let me know in the comments below how you use custom gender settings in your game when you're playing. Do you use it really frequently or sometimes, or is it something you don't really use? Similarly, I'd be curious to know how often you have same gender couples and if you feel like your own orientation affects how often you play with those storylines. I know that as a queer person, I play queer storylines in The Sims all the time, but I wonder if maybe I wasn't if I would. So it's not a judgy question and it's not looking to point a finger at anybody, but I'm just kind of generally curious. My mother likes to joke that I should have been a sociology major, and I don't totally disagree with her. I also decided to make Corey my more sweet, girly lesbian, but that's not to say that trans women have to be hyper feminine in order to be valid in their femininity. And likewise, trans women who are very feminine aren't being damaging and they're not playing into stereotypes about women. They are women. You know, if anyone tells you differently, again, they can choke? And what is a group of queer women without a waistcoat bisexual? So this last sim, I went in with like the very clear vision of her outfit in mind. She was wearing a waistcoat and she was gonna look damn good doing it. I don't like to play favorites when I do groups like this because I don't want to make it seem like I'm pitting one particular kind of person or one particular look or one particular style over another, but I will say that she's my favorite. 2 glasses of wine in and the pixel thirst becomes very transparent. I am all here for this recent trend of women in suits. I feel like I have been waiting my entire life for women in suits, and now the time has come for us to rejoice in the beauty of women in suits. But Ainsley, I hear you ask, there are still about 2.5 minutes of this video left. Is the rest of it just you rhapsodizing about women in suits? I mean, depending on how soon we get to the bottom of this glass of wine, the answer might very well be yes. Also, like, drink responsibly, kids. She's got my classic square jawline and vaguely angry eyebrows that I seem to be so into. I'm gonna have to make a cutesy sim one of these days with a really rounded jawline and really arched eyebrows. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you want to see, or if you're very much riding this square jaw pointy brow train. I know that I definitely am. I really tried to make this hair work on her. I love the side shave and I love like an atypical color. Those feel very gay as far as looks go, but I don't know, it didn't really work with the waistcoat, which was the whole point of her character design, so I went with a sort of top knot instead, a la Sarah Lance, and I quite like it. If you're going to be trying to scream bisexual, you may as well do it by emulating one of TV's greatest bisexuals. Also, side note, Legends of Tomorrow really needs to put Katie Lotz in a waistcoat next season. I feel like this video has devolved entirely from social commentary and deep discussion to just Ainsley thirsts, and I'm kind of okay with that. I also did use an atypical color for the hair. I used this sort of dusty pink rose gold look. What is it, like a millennial pink? And I feel like it goes really well. And I also gave her a nose piercing because, I don't know, piercings are gay now. I don't know if I can make that assertion, but you know what? I'm making it. Piercings are gay. I also gave her cool khaki slacks and settled on the randomized name Adriana Hollis because I kind of felt like Hollis reminded me of Laura's character from Carmilla, an excellent queer web series if anyone's interested and hasn't already watched it. I feel like the Venn diagram of people who would make it this far in the video and people who would watch Carmilla already is basically a circle. But yeah, this is basically the end of the video. Thank you so much for putting up with all of my ridiculous pixel thirst. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, as well as leave a comment down below. I always really appreciate getting feedback. And again, just as a final reminder, this is totally a generalization as far as videos go. This is not representative of all fashion for all queer women. Everyone obviously is their own unique person. And straight women, you are totally allowed to dress like this. You're just not allowed to get mad if someone thinks you're a lesbian because of it. The music for this video once again was done by Chucky, who is an amazing artist. I'll link his SoundCloud below so you're able to check him out. It would be really great if you gave him some love over there. So once again, happy Pride Month. Until next time, get out there and do stuff.